What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the Gamers for Life podcast, releasing every Friday, Saturday, or Sunday, discussing all things games, talking that gaming shit. I know we said that we weren't going to have another episode for this year, but god damn it, we watched the Game Awards, we got excited, passionate, and we were like, we need to talk about some of this bullshit. So we decided to throw in one more episode for you guys. Of course, I'm one of your hosts, Jarrell. With me is Arthur Thomas. What's going on, man?
Nothing much. Just keeping an eye. NFL playoffs are pretty much around the corner, and
Yeah.
your boy Watt had a collapsed lung from dry needling, which is like insane.
Oh wow. I know he was out. I didn't know it was for that. That's very
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Yep.
God damn it.
But hey, man, shout the Colts fans. Hope Grandpa Rivers can pull it through.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So we'll definitely see some exciting playoffs around the corner here. But of course, you're here to, or at least I think you are, to check out our thoughts of the Game Awards with which just happened on the 11th of December. So we wanted to talk about it. But before we do, if you're watching this, hello, be sure to like and subscribe on our channel at G4L Podcast. That is where Arthur manages the gaming streams for the channel. That's where the episodes are for the podcast. Surprise. And everything else when it comes to the show, you can go to linktree.com/gamers for life, the number 4 life. One-stop shop link for all things regarding to the show. And here at the Games for Life podcast, we read the news while you can watch or listen to what you choose by clicking on the links to the time code within the description of the episode so you can go to what segment that you want. Or you can just hang out with us here at the Games for Life podcast. But you probably want to go to what you want because we're going to be talking about many categories and segments and things of the show that happened for the Game Awards. So, interesting stuff. I want us to start, of course, like we do usually, kind of an overall consensus of the Game Awards, how we felt about it, how we felt Jeff Keighley did this year, and then we'll deep dive into the category specifics, things we liked and didn't like or whatnot. But I'll throw the ball in your court, Arthur. Give me your thoughts, just general overall. How do you feel the Game Awards were this year compared to last year?
Compared to last year, it's kind of tough only because I don't remember all of last year. I don't know. I'm working game gold, man. Overall, so compared to last year, because who won last year? Was it Astrobot or Baldur's Gate?
Astrobot one, yeah. The year before
Yeah.
was Baldur's Gate.
Okay,
Last year
so
was Astrobot. Yeah.
okay, so last year was Astrobot year. Last year was kind of light. Like, no offense to Astrobot, I'm just saying if you and you and I were talking about this. If you look up like the last 10 Game of the Year award winners, Astrobot stands out. So when Astrobot wins Game of the Year, not saying it wasn't deserved, just saying it was a light year. Um, but this year I liked it. There's some gripes people had. There's some gripes we had. There's no such thing as perfection. I think some of the gripes people had, I don't agree with to the same degree, but I enjoyed it. We kind of kept our own tradition where we make food, make snacks, and enjoy ourselves. Of course, it was separate because we're a couple time zones away. But I enjoyed myself. There was a lot of announcements we were both hyped for. The order of which may not have been ideal, which we'll talk about later. But I don't know, man. I enjoyed it. And I think a lot of people, like our friend Asian, were inclined to take advantage of that sale of Claire Obscure 33 and bought that shit for $10 off. And at one point, I'll be enjoying it sometime next week. But again, overall, I enjoyed it. I think Jeff did great. I think there is some lizard speak talk, but that wasn't so much on Jeff. That was some more on the other script stuff. Performances were good. Overall, I think it was a win. And we'll get into more of it later. But I think comparing to last year, this year was a lot more competitive. Like he opened the show saying 3 of the 5 nominees are indie developers. Were games made by indie developers. And so as we start to wrap up the year, you and I talked about this before. This was the year of the David versus Goliath. This is the year of the small versus the big, the indie versus the AAA. This is the and roughly the same what feels like month. Assassin's Creed Shadows had that horrible, fucking Attack on Titan crossover. Call of Duty Black Ops comes out, and like we said it before with our nominees, Call of Duty Black Ops wasn't nominated for a damn thing, as it shouldn't have been. You know, uh, Assassin's Creed Shadows got nominated for like not saying a pity award, but it got nominated for an award that had nothing to do with its gameplay, had nothing to do with the writing, had nothing to do with the sound, had nothing. It got nominated because it had like a diverse cast, and so yeah. So again, this was the year of again AAA, except for a few outliers like maybe Battlefield 6, really shit in the bed, disappointing its fan base, um, and indie stepping up in a major way, both in popularity and reviews and sales. Numbers talk, and Claire Obscura 3.3, which we'll get into a lot more. Steam count peak doubled that of Assassin's Creed Shadows, and again the fact that some people are still gullible enough to buy it day one. Cool, man. Hope hope you enjoyed the most historically accurate Assassin's Creed ever. But overall, back to the show itself, I enjoyed it, man. I thought it was a good show. I liked the performances. It was really fun. I enjoyed myself. When it comes to entertainment like this, I'm a simple man. Like I walk out of a movie with a yes or no, kind of like as Russell Crowe asked all of us. Was I not entertained? I was. So for pass fail, it gets a pass for me. If I had to give it a grade, I would give it like an A minus, maybe a B plus. There's a few things that on its own, looking back, it should be given a better grade. But again, because the order of certain announcements and what announcements were given time to really let itself breathe and settle, which we're getting to, may have improved it. But overall, man, great. I had fun. It was a fun show.
Yeah, and I think sometimes gamers are spoiled when it comes to not really being like, grateful for like the quality of the show for games, right? I feel like sometimes gamers are so quick to talk about what wasn't right or what they didn't like. Like people say, the Game Awards is a joke, and it's like, okay, you make a better Game Awards, motherfucker. You know what I mean? So I think some gamers are just really spoiled. I thought it was a very quality show. I thought it was there's a lot of interesting nuances that I don't think anybody's really talked about yet for some of these platforms that talk about the Game Awards. Like I've watched VGC, I watched Nerd Nest, and there's just a couple of nuances that I caught that I was like, I really like this. Even though the Game Awards was like it was like 3.5 hours or something. I thought it went by relatively quick. And I did like that they added the speeches back for the winners. First I was a little like, oh, I don't know if they should be doing this, but to me, it added a very human notion to this AI slop world that we're in now of all this stuff, and you have these corporate people that are like, oh, AI, there's no value in games, according to the CEO of Netflix, so I think it was nice to have these humans that worked on this fucking game give their thanks of the awards that they won. I thought it was just a very nice touch. Um, yeah, Keeley definitely surprised us with some tear jerking moments at the beginning of the show, talking about some of the stuff that he went through. It's like, fuck, man, that's crazy, So just to kind of put everything into perspective as far as kind of the sacrifices that yeah, everyone's going through shit, So I thought it was an interesting moment, just kind of remembering that in particular. But as far as the show in particular, yeah, I thought it was the quality was great, performances were really great. My qualms were mainly to do with some of the winners, and then just some of the winners, some of the people presenting during whoever won. And maybe a few segments were stretched on a little too long than needed. I felt like there were some things where they were stretched on because didn't Todd Howard did he host for an award? I feel like he was like,
He presented best direction,
yeah,
which is iconic because the man
yeah.
that can't count to 16 presented for best direction.
Well, and also I think he just couldn't find a parking spot, so they're like, let's just throw in this segment, let's throw out this trailer.
Mm.
Because I feel like he should have been on a while ago, but it was like where the fuck is where is he? And then I feel like they kind of bought some time, as award shows you tend to do that because just shit happens. But yeah, overall, I think I would agree with you on the B. If you were to give it a B, I think I would give it a strong B, B plus, as well. So, I mean, with that being said, do we want to talk about the announcements that we are excited for before just going into like who won and all that stuff? How do you feel?
I'll start with something that I don't think is as big as people are making it. It's just me. Um, the last announcement. It's a big deal for a lot of people. I simply come down to it as like ad money. Shit, Super Bowl's around the corner, and if commercial A pays for commercials in the first quarter and company B pays for commercials in the third quarter, which one's going to cost more? Because that's like literally a thing. So I don't. Here's the thing: it's all assumption. We're all assuming Jeff did this, and it's like at the end of the day, you can say, yeah, he signed off on it, but at the end of the day, bills gotta be paid, and I didn't.
Yeah. You have a lot of people commenting that have no idea how to run the Game Awards as a business, right? It's like
Yeah,
I to me, I never had an issue with the announcement of it. To me, it was more the sequential order of it. But I'll let you continue.
that's my thing. Is people are like really a hero shooter to end the night, and I'm like, yeah, it's not the best one to end on. Like I think most of us are in agreement. KOTOR Knights of the Republic 3 should have been how the night ended, which I will agree on. But the hoopla and gripe and level of which people are upset. The Game Awards are unwatchable. I'm like, really? So really, the entire fucking night should get ignored because of the last
Yeah.
100 seconds of
Some
an
gamers
ad.
just bitch too much. It's like you're
Yeah,
just never gonna be happy. We
and,
have to. To me, we have to stop that as a culture. It's like, come on, like stop bitching.
yeah. Just quit bitching, get a job, be realistic, because yeah, like that was the very Gerald. That was the very first thing that crossed my mind. Is like, well, did they pay a significant amount more for it? Because who's putting it forward? The makers of this, the makers of that. They probably got some money in the bank. It's like, hey, how come this one thing got a little less time? How come this other thing got a little more time? I'm not saying Jeff's, a corp. I'm not saying Jeff's full corpo, but at the end of the day, if like, what was that dog game, the Good Shepherd, the Free Shepherd, possibly paid for X amount, and then that hero shooter at the end that no one gives a shit about paid for X amount, they might get their money's worth. And that's the thing too, vice versa. This is, I want to say, because this is in California. This venue is in California. That's
An
lawsuit
award
city.
show in the award
That's
show in Los Angeles, California. That's fucking expensive.
that's the reason
Yeah.
why E3's gone. E3 left because people came out and said we can afford to go there. And where I'm going with this is my again theory is it's not even a fucking tinfoil hat theory. People are lawsuit heavy. So what I'm saying is, if a company A spent all this money to have all this ad time and like a quote unquote, however they may have worded it, contractually crucial spot, and then any company B paid like $100, and like if like the roles were reversed and like the night ended on like the Good Shepherd, and let's say this Titanfall X dev hero shooter game paid a ton of money and was just thrown somewhere in between, they might have had like a check on their hands of like, hey, by the way, we paid X amount for this, and you gave us this, and you know what I mean. Like, at the end of the day, I'm still baffled how like long people are having debates on it. Like, why do you think this happened? What do you think keeps the lights on? Money. Like again, not saying Jeff's
It's
full
fair.
corpo. It just
Yeah.
again, Super Bowl's around the corner, so ad money is a real thing. That was the very first thing. That was the very first last thing that crossed my head. Why was this game shown last? Probably because they paid for it. Now, people are
Yeah.
saying, well, Jeff hyped it up. And I'm like, again, money? Joel, if you and I make a game and we pay someone to talk about it and they're like, it looks like shit, but you should give it a try. Even my fat ass is like, I'm not saying full on, $1 million a lawsuit, but if literally you pay for an ad and your advertiser's like, it looks like shit, but you should still try it out. That's possibly again, I can't think of the word, breach of contract to some point, right? So it's like, why would Jeff hype up this game? What do you want him to do? What do you want him to do? This game looks mid, 6-7. This game looks like brain rot.
Yeah,
Skibbity
he's not
wrist. What the fuck are you talking?
exactly. He's not your favorite streamer. He's a businessman. You know what I mean? And Yeah, exactly to your point. I just think people are really ignorant and narrow-minded, and there's a reason why they can't do what Jeff does. So Jeff McKeely's been in the business for 30 to 40 years. So like exactly to your point, to keep the lights on, he has to advertise stuff. He's advertising this stuff. It's not forcing you to buy the game. You know what I mean? Like and I personally don't have an issue with that. And I think you're right as far as the reason why maybe it was last. They probably paid for it to be last, and it was probably very expensive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like that makes a lot of sense to me.
And
So if that was the case.
and you mentioned on something too of like, well, my streamer would have never done that. Here's the upside downside with successful streamers. They don't have people to answer to. And when you don't have people to answer to, you don't have people to abide by or like talk as if you're walking on eggshells. And say what you want. You can say, hey, you're a successful streamer you like Kai Cenat, like some of the other nominees that were that night, and some of the people that commented on it. They have a little bit of freedom that even Jeff Keighley doesn't have. Jeff Keighley has people to answer to. Jeff Keighley has bills to pay. I'm not saying your streamer doesn't, but again, there's a difference. There's a reason why the average successful streamer can just say whatever, because at the end of the day, they're able to keep the lights on and keep their kind of infrastructure going. Whereas if a company paid for advertising in the Game Awards, Jeff Keighley, understandably, most likely, per contract, will talk it up. Almost as if like that's the job, that's what the contract says. Whereas understandably, if a streamer that's not paid, not sponsored to talk about that same game are going to give maybe, let's be honest, more audience opinions. It looked okay. It's a hero shooter. It's a genre no one gives a shit about. Cool. How even in the game itself, Joel. You know, we're talking about it. I got upset about it because all that trailer did is remind me Titanfall 3 is not going to exist. Like they're like the makers of Titanfall. Oh fuck. Well, this is a Titanfall 3. I don't give a shit. You know what I mean? So that's the thing too. It's like, oh well, he hyped it up so much. What did you expect him to do? Live in the Game Awards say, yeah, it looks
Yeah,
mid.
he's a host of a game show.
It's
Like
another.
that's biased if he just chooses what he wants to hype and what he doesn't want to hype. Like that's not his job.
What did you honestly expect him to say? Put 2 seconds of logic behind this. What did you expect him to say? And here comes another hero shooter. We don't have enough of those. Am I right? Am I right, gamers? Well, here's your friend. Here's your hero shooter slop. And the night ends. No, that's again. There'll be people come after him like, hey Jeff, we paid you fucking money. That's what you said about our fucking game. Um, and at the end of the day too, again, like I'm Joe, like I was still shocked. There was so much talk on that. I'm just like, do people not know how? Sorry,
And
side tangent.
he didn't say anything. And I know we want to get into the
Yeah,
categories here, but like, and he didn't say anything to sway really. Like he had energy. He described the game, or he described a little bit of it. He described he was working on it. He said that he played it ahead of time. So he really didn't say anything to make it bigger than it already was. Like he did say we have a big announcement, and obviously that could be a subjective notion. But to me, he didn't say anything where it was like I feel like I was like people wanted the thing is that people wanted it to be something that it wasn't. Like one of the big things that
yeah,
was happening around this year is that, and I don't know where this came from. I guess I'm not on the internet long enough, but people thought there was going to be a Half-Life 3 announcement, and that was a huge disappointment for a lot of people. I'm like,
yeah.
I've been waiting for Half-Life 3 announcements for over 20 years. I'm not waiting for a Half-Life 3 announcement. If it's going to be available, it's going to be available. I never thought once that it was going to be during the Game Awards. I'm like what? So.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because that's what I was thinking too. Like oh, people were expecting Half Life and it wasn't, so they're upset. I don't know, man. Like it just like I said, just for me, I'm still shocked of how many people, to what degree, were talking about it. It's like well, here's my side tangent, Jarrell. It makes me think about it. Maybe because TV and cable have been dead for so long, maybe the youngins forgot how ads and commercials work. You know what I mean? Like, no, really, because if think about it, if all they've been growing up on is YouTubers and influencers, ads, limitations, not saying what you think all the time when it comes to your mind without a filter, is not common might not be common to a lot of people, right? So
That's fair.
it makes
Yeah.
me think, something that's been common relatively for the past, half century when it comes to normal quote unquote cable TV television ads or sponsorships, what do you want to call it? This is par of the course. But like again, I wonder if because if people are just watching influencers and content creators all day that don't really have that type of limitation if they've reached that high tier of financial and verbal freedom, that might be a new concept to them. Like what the three people I listened to all said this is mid. Why didn't Todd Howard, not Todd Howard, why didn't Jason Keeley say this was mid? This is bullshit. I'm like, again, this, I don't know. Larger concept makes me think of wonder the concept of of mainstream ads is too distant or foreign to them, like the age of the floppy disk.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, definitely interesting stuff. And then I guess for me closing on this part is just that you have people that complain about the Game Awards yet they watch every year. It's like if you really feel that you don't like the Game Awards, stop watching. Because if you're watching it every year and you're gonna bitch about it every year, then you're just a prod. You're just contradict. You're just being a walking contradiction. If you don't like the Game Awards, stop watching it. You know what I mean? So it's just like it reminds me of the Joker during the Batman animated series, where the Joker was like the show that nobody wants to see, but everyone will watch. So it's just like
Yeah.
just stop watching it if you really have a problem with it. So
I hate the Super Bowl, so we're live here at the 12 p.m. pregame. Yeah,
but
but yeah, I don't know. Like I said, it just for me it's simple argument for some reason a complex topic. Why was that shown last? One, even we're guessing, we don't know, but my bet's on ad money. Simple as that. And why? And again, hey, my streamers would have called it this. My streamer would have called it that. Why didn't Jeff Keighley be honest about it? Again, if money's crossing hands and I pay to talk about my product and you talk shit about it, ooh, you're going to hear not from me next, but my lawyers next. Because that's the way at large, especially in lawsuit heavy California, that's the way the world works.
yeah, and to me, people need to know what words mean. Like him not talking about something, like him not giving his opinion on something, and him just talking about the him playing the game and mentioning the information. That to me, that's not being honest. Like that's not what that means. You know what I mean? He's just giving the information and he's advertising. He didn't say this is going to be the best game this year. Everyone needs to be sure to buy this. Like that's different. That's where you're kind of creating a narrative where that's not the case. But if you're just describing something and then you're just saying, hey, like these guys have been working on this for a long time, like these are all facts, right? These are all facts. Like so whether or not you like the game or not is a subjective notion. So I'm just like people need to know what words mean again. Like him, like that's not him not being honest. That's just him being a host, and he's talking about, hey, this is the game we're gonna announce. So I'm just like people need to get out of their feelings on
It's
that.
it's simple and it's simple and
Yeah.
like I said, I like not to dwell into too much, but like I said,
Mm.
I truly wonder, Joel, in the age of the content creator, if people don't really know how ads and contracts work like they used to.
Yeah.
This used to be,
People just
this
think you're
used to,
just talking to a microphone and you make a bunch of money. It's like that's not.
you click record, you say whatever comes to your mind first. It's like, hey, isn't it weird that people that work for Coke can't shit on Coke publicly? Oh, they're plebs. No, that's their job. What's involved in a job? A contract. What's involved in advertisement? A contract. So, I don't know. Like I said, just that was one thing that really surprised me about the whole thing. So I just want to get that. I wanted to get that small, for some reason, large topic out of the way first.
No, I think it's warranted. And again, I think there's some platforms that haven't discussed that, and we talk about things that a lot of platforms don't. So I think it's definitely on brand to our show. Let's talk about just some of our favorite announcements, and then we can dig deep into the winners and all that stuff. So I know one of your favorite announcements was that Ace Combat
I'm
trailer announcement.
I understand it's a niche community. It's a niche franchise. I get that. I'm not gonna come at it like, oh, this was the best announcement of this Game Awards. Duh. No fucking way. But I've been hooked on Ace Combat since the PS2 days of Ace Combat 2, and I've still said, you know, give Ace Combat a try. Like it's like you're hooked in. You go in Ace Combat for the gameplay, and for a lot of the games, some not as like to the upper echelon as others, but you stick around for the story. Like Ace Combat 2 and Ace Combat 0, one of my top, some of my top games of all time, and they always will be. And and some of the categories we'll get into, like music, like sound design. I still say I will forever remember playing Ace Combat. I forget it was 2 or 0 because it's kind of the same war. Ace Combat 0 is the prequel to the 2. I think it's Ace Combat 0, and you're flying over like a volcano or like a meteor crater where your sonar, not sonar, your radar gets all fucked up, so your missiles are kind of useless. So it's all machine guns like a dogfight, and all of a sudden like 12 plus enemy jets are on the horizon that come in to kill you because you've made a name for yourself in that war. And all of a sudden, drill like Spanish fucking guitar dueling music kicks in, acoustic only, and it like just till that day, man, playing that song, Ace Combat 0, the round table, look it up, you can find YouTube, Spotify, whatever. Not sponsored. It's that forever cemented into me like how crucial like music is into a game. And mind you, I'm playing a fucking jet fighting game, so I'm like, why the fuck am I hooked on Spanish guitars in a jet fighting game? And I've kept up with the series since. Ace Combat 7 I beat on stream early this year, late last year. That was like I think my fourth time beating the game. Um, I may do a fifth. I don't know. Just Ace Combat's one of those series draw I can always jump back to like an old bike. You know what I mean? Just like an old friend you haven't seen in forever. Ace Combat's that for me. And so when I saw Bandai Namco and an aircraft carrier at jets, I'm like, oh, what the, what? But I was confused because we were in a party talking about it. It's because they showed a lot of the pilot's first person walking around, which is not normal for Ace Combat at all. Like there might be a cutscene where there might be like an individual cutscene, maybe like in total of like maybe I think the last 3 games collectively like 50 seconds of like first person perspective of your character, your nameless, faceless, voiceless character. So to see a first person perspective walking around, that's new. So it kind of threw me off for a bit. Not to sound wrong, I hope we don't spend a lot of time doing that. I want to be in the air. But yeah, when they eventually announced, they showed Project Aces, and yeah, Ace Combat 8, was it Sky the Thief or something like that? I was hyped. I'm like, especially the timing of it. Like I said, I just
Yeah.
beat Ace Combat 7 not too long ago, so it was all the memories are fresh in the mind. So I was happy for that.
Yeah, you were definitely kid in a candy store happy when that was announced. Because I remember we were first like, we weren't entirely certain when we were first watching it. And I was like, this might be Ace Combat. And you're like, oh my God. You're like, I think you're right. And then once the fucking jets start taking off, it's like, yes, and like, yeah,
Yeah.
that was really cool. That was really dope. That was really dope. And then definitely, everyone should definitely watch his stream for when he did beat Ace Combat for the 7th time. Because how fast he beat it, and then how he beat it, and what he was talking about when he did beat the game.
Oh yeah.
Everyone was just like in the comments, I don't know if those were recorded from the live, but
Yeah.
yeah, we were like, what? Like you beat, like what the fuck? Like you beat it one try, like it was
Yeah.
just, yeah,
The ending days combat, sort of spoiler. It's not a dogfight. You fly through like a tunnel, like a Star Wars, Death Star style tunnel, and I'm like talking stories about it. And I beat it. I beat it in one try minus a mishap because I dropped my controller and it crashed, flying up to the tunnel. But the tunnel itself, dropping my controller on brand. But no, the actual tunnel itself, I beat it in one try, and it was really funny because there was a few people in chat that like that took me forever, and I'm like, oh, sorry, I don't know. I've been playing this game, I've been playing this game since I was a kid. I love any game that has jet fighting mechanics. So
yeah.
side note, reminder for any Ace Combat fans, and if you ever played an EA based flying game, you're going to die because Ace Combat controls are like real controls where the right stick controls, your pitch and left stick controls your yaw. But in every EA game, like Battlefield, Battlefront ever made, it's like, whoa, shit! Like, Joe, in my defense, you were there. You've been a loyal friend to me and joined me amongst many many helicopter crashes in Battlefield 6. Yeah.
I was like, fuck it, let's do this.
But in terms of
Okay.
announcements, there was another announcement that I thought was Mass Effect because it was a space game,
Hmm.
but it was in fact not, and you called it.
Yeah, yeah, Star Wars: Fate of the Republic. Yeah, it was funny because when first watching it, I was like, this seems fairly familiar. And
Yeah.
then once it the ship landed, and then you see the hydraulics, and then you see the air coming up, and I'm like, that's very KOTOR-ish. It's very KOTOR-ish. And then once you finally see like the reflection of the lightsaber flash on her face, I'm like, oh my god, And then when it's a Star Wars Fate, and then it faded in of the Republic, we're ah! And
That
then when Jeff Keighley was like, a first player action RPG, like, fuck yes, let's fucking go. So very excited, very excited.
and also to toot a lot of the horns, not a hot take, how BioWare and Dragon Age the Veilguard's creative writing and lead writing was shit. What solidified that announcement as good instead of skeptical? They're bringing back the OG. They're
Yeah,
bringing they're
Casey Hudson, right?
they're bringing back
Yeah,
Casey. And if it
yeah.
wasn't for that, I would feel bad, Joel, because if it wasn't for that, I would have immediately humbled you and be like, Jarrell, this is being made by the same people that made Veilguard. This is BioWare. This is BioWare. Hey, they don't go by that. Yeah, before you become a Sith Lord, you have to learn how to talk to people nicely. Okay, this is modern day BioWare. Yeah. Oh, did you mispronounce that person's name? Yeah, we're gonna have to talk about that after you're done force choking him, okay? Okay. Welcome to modern day BioWare. Thanks.
Yeah, and in all honesty too, I know we want to talk about some other announcements, but I'm still skeptical because we already had a prior announcement many years ago, right, for a Star Wars game, and that game is canceled
Twilight or
indefinitely.
the moon one, right?
Yeah, yeah, where the ship was flying through into the cargo or whatever,
Yeah.
and it was supposed to be like a PS5, I think a PlayStation exclusive for a little bit.
It had like
That
the
game never came out.
twins.
And obviously,
Yeah.
to me, this game is far off from being made because I believe they announced like the day after that they found the dev team to work on the game. So I'm like, okay, this game is not coming out for at least 2 years. So it's gonna be a while, and I just hope it gets made. It is. You are right. The strongest point is Casey Hudson. Because he brought us those amazing titles like Mass Effect and whatnot. Um, so I just hope that the game gets fucking made. I think the fact that it doesn't have to do any live service bullshit, and it can just focus on being a strong, I would imagine open world action RPG single player, which that's like the opposite of what corporate America and games wants to do now. Because it's like the multiplayer revenue is like everyone wants that. So not to mention other microtransactions. So the fact that it is single player action RPG, I'm like, yo, let's do this. So we'll see. I just want the game to be fucking made. So that is my skepticism as far as that, just the actual production of it.
And then additional context for youngins: Star Wars games have a long history of canceled games. Like you can, like I just did a quick Google. There's YouTube videos of like top 20 canceled Star Wars games. There's a lot. There's a lot. So Star Wars has a long history of announcements and cancellations, even from the PS2 to, like I said, recently a couple of years ago, from like E3, from Game Awards, from this modern day. So, um, yeah. So now it's like, like, in how many times remove the word Star Wars? How many times, especially under the EA banner, and hell, even remove EA, just the game industry. How many times have we heard of canceled games where it's like, now it's like, oh shit, okay, this game still exist. Will it be good? Fuck. Will it be delayed? Fuck. Will it exist? That's just modern worries.
Right. No, yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, as far as some of the other announcements, obviously the Divinity, right?
That was sick.
That was a crazy trailer. Like, holy shit, this is fucking insane. Um, I thought it was like some Diablo shit. Like, that's how violent that shit was. I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
But that's pretty exciting that the Divinity is now it's rehashed, if you will. So they're starting again on that. And yeah, and it's supposed to be even bigger than Baldur's Gate 3 as far as
Yep.
that world, which is
Yep.
insane.
It's by Larian.
Yeah, yeah. So
Remember,
very
Drell,
excited.
I know Larian's making another game, but don't expect good games to be the norm. Okay, it's unfair on behalf of other executive companies to expect good games to work at launch without a battle pass, without a season pass, without DLC to be the industry norm. Okay, okay. Shout out to
Yeah,
everyone.
man.
Shout out to the entire fucking industry that complained of like, hey, Baldur's Gate 3 is out. Don't expect this to be the norm. What, a functioning game at launch?
Right, right. Control Resonant was another one for me. That was another one I was like,
Yeah.
ooh, okay, okay, so like the fact that that the game isn't in an office building is exciting in itself.
That's one that's curious too because you said you played a little bit of Control the first one. I haven't.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
even you were saying the second one, we don't know if it's a positive or good negative. I think it's positive. Almost looks nothing like the first one in terms of
yeah,
gameplay. The second one looks like actiony Devil May Cry, not to that degree, but very action based. The first one seemed more of like narrative heavy gameplay, second or third priority.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So very interesting on that. Yeah, definitely. It's kind of opening up its horizons and capability as far as for how the gameplay is going to be. So yeah, very different. Um, but yeah, I'm interested. I have no idea what's going on from a story perspective, but definitely looking to check it out, most definitely. And then I know your game that even though they've announced this before or we saw the trailers for it, but the Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight,
Yes.
showing more content on that still looks great and fun.
Lego Batman, because here's the thing too. You even saw the crowd like coming next on Lego Batman. Because up until now, Lego games had just been a comical, fun platformer thing. But the gameplay of this one, shots fired at Rocksteady. This next one looks more like a Rocksteady Arkham game than fucking Suicide Squad ever did. So, upside downside drill to Suicide Squad being shit. It's making this new Lego Batman game look good. You know what I mean? Because if Suicide Squad wasn't as bad as it was, this may have been viewed as just another comical for the funsies, for the for the lulz, for the giggles, for the chuckles Lego game. But now that through the direction of WB, who's going under,
Mm,
has to get saved by Netflix or Paramount,
yeah, which
has
is
to.
which is very troubling because according to them, there's no value in games. But
Yeah,
so I don't know what's going on there. But please continue.
yeah. So, but what I'm saying is, yeah, like I said, if you haven't watched the gameplay, because I get it, I get it. I have not paid attention to a Lego Batman. I have not paid attention to a Lego game in years because we've all knew what they were. No, watch the gameplay in this. Like, I'm glad you did because you saw them. Like, it kind of looks like a legit, maybe a slower, not as difficult, um, Arkham game. But I like it too because they still keep. So not only do we have to a point Arkham level fighting free flow combat, but we also have what got Lego to where it is, the Lego humor. Like, I still love how in the middle of Bane making his speech, you think the darkness is your ally. I was born in it, molded by I stepped on the red brick. That's the worst one. This could have really hurt me, guys. Can we clean up here? And it's just like, okay,
Yeah,
it's just the best of both worlds. We're gonna get fucking Christian Bale's Batman. Where is she? Where is she? What? And then he just spins his head, like the Lego movie, like I'm angry now.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like
It's gonna be great.
I'm looking forward to it, man. And again, upside downside. if the Suicide Squad wasn't as shit as it was, which we all know it is. It's a dead game, by the way. Remember, we call that shit a mile. Also, just real quick drill to pat ourselves in the back, as humble people often do. We call that shit a mile away. The Suicide Squad being dead in months, and it's like, oh hey, look, we were right.
Yeah, we did. We did. And that's this is what we do, right? So that shit from a mile away, we're like, yeah, this is not gonna happen. I wanted to get your thoughts on Pragmata because I heard that they actually
Well,
announced a
yeah,
demo for it. I know it's not the first time that that this isn't like an official first announcement per se, um, but I wanted to get your thoughts on how you feel about the game so far,
it looks
in
fun,
particular.
dude. Keeping your little
Okay.
AI robot daughter alive, man. It's
Yeah.
like it brings us back to Last of Us One before Ellie became a little fucking shit. Um, yeah,
Yeah.
man. Like it
Yeah.
just again, just that classic, caveman brain of like, oh, stick fire, kill anything that hurts this kid. You know what I mean? So it looks fun, and the gameplay looks fun. You know, Capcom's not known for making ugly games. This game looks gorgeous.
hmm
Um, I don't know if it'd be a day one game for me, only because as we know, you and I are not the typical day one jump in, stop everything they're doing for day one games. Maybe
hmm
once, maybe twice a year, or do you and I find ourselves doing day one shit? You know what I mean? That's
Yeah.
just, and again, that's just from us having years of being let down. We have other games going on. For some reason, this game comes out on a fucking Tuesday. We got work. I'm not putting in 4 days of PTO. so
Right. Right.
so but no, otherwise everything I've seen from this game, it looks clean, it looks fun. Um I'm hoping they're keeping it like a little fast paced because
hmm
here and there it gives me Vanquish vibes. Only because it's just like space and just some of the aesthetics of like the suit. It's not one for one, so don't take that comment to heart. But
Yeah.
either way, man, yeah, I got nothing bad about to say about the game from what we've seen so far.
Yeah. It's funny. I'm getting a little tired of save the helpless but special person game. As far as like you know, like like you have to protect her from violence, but then she's also very powerful at the same time. Like I'm kind of getting a little tired of those type of games. But I mean, if the story's good, the story's good. But yeah, I do agree. I have the same reservations as far as for the pacing of the game, right? Is it going to be a free flowing pacing that's going to, just really push the story forward and everything? And it seems like there's like some random puzzles, like kind of in the middle of certain fighting of certain boss battles too, which I found really interesting. Um, yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like the writing too, and then as far as like the characters between them, those interactions, I just feel like there really has to be a connection between the two, because if it's something where it's like I don't really understand why he's saving her, like that's going to be a problem, obviously. But yeah, I mean, I'm very interested. I'll probably check it out. I know there's a demo where there's a sketchbook. Download Pragmata Sketchbook. So I don't know if that's like an actual demo or if it's just kind of like a side mini thing, but you can download it on Steam, um, and check it out. So, but yeah, the game comes out in April of next year. So it's around the corner. So we'll see if Capcom can pull this off. So we'll see. We'll see. Um, there's a couple other mini ones to kind of mention as well. Like there was the Chicken of the Covenant, or Coven of the Chicken Foot,
Yeah.
with the old lady. Um, that one seemed really interesting. It seems like like one of those indie games that I would probably buy or play on multiple devices or multiple platforms. So
Mm-hmm.
I just kind of been getting into some of those type of games as far as just like indie-ish, like
Chill
just like
games.
yeah, I'm kind of getting into those more. Resident Evil Requiem, they announced, hey, we don't think the female character can really hold the game up, so we're going to bring back Leon Kennedy. for all the action because
I still
female
think that's.
protagonists are dead now.
I will kind of disagree with you on that. We're
It's a
back in.
joke. I'm joking. I'm
Okay.
joking.
Well, I meant it's more of like we're back in Raccoon City. It's like if we were back in Raccoon City and Leon was not there, yeah, I'd be pretty pissed off. But
Yeah, I mean, I think overall this is. I mean, I think this is all positive. I didn't really see anybody bitching online for that
no.
announcement. I think everyone's like, "Oh, cool, sweet." Oh, you know what I mean. So I think definitely it's an exciting notion there. Gang of Dragon looks pretty dope too, and I guess the developer of Yakuza, Toshori Nagoshi, um, he's involved with this. So there's that one where that dude was just like whooping everybody's ass. That big Asian dude just kind of fucking shit up.
So
So
it's from a previous Yakuza developer.
yeah, it's his Yakuza developer Toshori Nagasaki's first project outside of Sega that has been revealed in Gang of Dragon. So
Also, real quick, back to Resident Evil because Resident Evil likes having convoluted fucking stories.
yeah.
Um, the the main character Grace Ashcroft is a daughter of Alicia Ashcroft from Resident Evil Outbreak. So
Yes, that I figured out through a multitude of different gaming videos. But yeah,
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 Resident Evil doesn't like being linear, and not saying. Well, I was gonna say all white girls look alike, but not in my defense. I never played Resident Evil 8, so
mhm,
I thought the main character of this game was where Resident Evil 8 left off,
yeah,
which is you're the daughter. You're the daughter that has like parasite worm powers at the end of Resident Evil 8.
yeah.
So is that the same person or no? Or is that the different white chick with
I
powers?
don't. That I'm not sure of.
Oh, okay.
That I'm not sure of. I'd have to do some more digging on that. Um,
Okay.
One of the last ones, for me at least, to kind of have a conversation about on my end, was the game "Stupid Never Dies." It was kind of like it's funny because the beginning of that trailer, it seemed like it was like a music-based game or something, like with that anime and everything, and they're kind of like singing like these like punk rock songs. At first,
Oh
I was kind of like,
yeah,
yeah. At first, and I'll be honest, first I was kind of like checked out a little bit. I was like, okay, whatever. These seems kind of fun. Like, but then they showed the gameplay, and I'm like,
it looked
this looks
good.
fucking great. I was like, what the fuck? This
I,
looks really good. So yeah, once they showed that gameplay, I was like, I actually am very excited about this
it
now.
it's
So
not a rhythm game, but it gave me like high rush vibes. In terms of the cell shading and the music, because I think I was texting. I was on the tail end of cooking. Like I got had a long day from work, jobs, and so I got late start to cooking my chicken wings and my chicken wings. What else I had? Brats, for the Game Awards, and so I was had my headphones, my Bluetooth headphones on my TV, and I came back and I see them jamming out. I'm like, this looks fun. So audio wise, the game sounded fun. Um, Looks fun. I like it. I like you guys summon like a weird horde of shit. So I'm looking forward to it.
yeah.
Um, there is Joe. There is another. There are two more in the announcements I'm looking forward to that look fun. Is the cartoony Souls like game, the Badger game?
Oh yeah. Let me see.
That looks fun.
Oh, Bradley the Badger.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. Yeah, I'm very curious about that. Yeah, it looks like it's by a debut studio, Day 4 Night Studio. Um, yeah, 3D platforms, definitely. I'm all in.
And,
I've been a really big fan.
and it has a smidge of Souls like to it. Also, that
Mhm.
first game they announced, it just looks like one of those like again calming, beautiful indie games. So it might not be for everyone. I get it. Like there's no ball to kick, no gun to shoot. So for you, people that need like five things going on in your brain, they need constant dopamine hits to the max level. Might not be for you.
Yeah.
Um, the Free Shepherd, the dog. You gotta play as the sheepdog.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
the
that's
dog's
fun.
hanging out, running in the fields. Yeah, I think there's good. I feel like it's funny. That's one funny thing about games is that I feel like there's a game for everybody, right?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And I feel like that game is gonna do fine.
Yeah. And before people are like, no, it has to be exciting, it has to be shooting. Dude, I was in college. the same year Call of Duty had its breakthrough, like Black Ops 1 and Modern Warfare 1, Modern Warfare 2, the Go era, not where we're at now, is I
Mm.
remember my roommate coming home after a final he barely passed. He thinks he barely passed, so was stressing the fuck on. He put on a flower. You remember that PS3 game? Remember that
Oh yeah,
PS3
yeah,
game? You're
yeah,
just like a fucking flower seed floating through the air.
yeah.
So hey, even if for the youngins that go through shit of, was just like, nah, man, you need to constantly kick a ball and fucking shoot shit. But like, hey, man, you never know when you just need to put on a game. You need to put on a game and just be a flower seed flowing through the wind through some calm ass music. You never know. It was just really fun. It was just really fun
Yeah.
within the same week. Like I said, it felt like the same week of we're playing Call of Duty nonstop. Right before finals, and then after the week of the week of finals or after finals, he just comes home and plays Flower for like 2 hours, and it's like, okay, I'm gonna go to walk.
I resonate with that a lot, man. I resonate with that a lot. That I did that a lot for like Skyrim used to be that for me. I would just
Yeah.
wander, throughout Skyrim and just, the soundtrack just being as one of the best soundtracks in games in my opinion. Yeah, just, it was one of those games, No Man's Sky,
Yep.
one of those games just flying through space, really feeling like you're in space, like, yeah, I think there's a real nice importance of those games from a mental, like, chill space.
Yeah.
I really fuck with that.
Like there was a phase when I was, you remember when I was at my hotel to put in like 16-hour fucking days longer. You remember, Joel? There was weeks where I would get to my hotel at 7 a.m. and be clocking out at 11:30 p.m. But I had to work the next day at 7 a.m. again, so I'd just sleep at the hotel like 3 nights a week, and then every now and again I'd come home and just put on some Spiritfarer. That was the game I told you. It's like Spiritfarer. You try that game, man. It's chill. It's relaxing. It's still a game. It's not like Beyond Two Souls,
Right.
where it's just Beyond Two Souls is more of like cutscene the game. No, this is a game. It just
QTE. Yep.
yeah. No, this is a game. It's just not fucking Call of Duty. Dopamine hit 1,000 times a minute. A million
Yeah.
things, a million
It's like
things on your
hug the
screen.
fawn.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, cool.
Yeah, the music.
Yeah.
The music for Spiritfarer. The music for Spiritfarer. So again, like both of us
Really nice.
coming from Flower, Spiritfarer,
Yeah.
and games of that genre. As we get to our older years,
Yeah.
we're breaching up on the 40s faster than we think.
Yeah. Yeah.
Free Shepherd, Free Shepherd's like, hey, I'll fuck with it. Plus, a little bias too. Not sure if I told you this. My aunt used to train award-winning sheepdogs.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
cool.
So that's why if I play the game, I'm like, no, they don't fucking do that.
It's bullshit.
That's bullshit. Not how working dogs work. so
Right.
so don't mind me if I got some skin in the game and call out their bullshit of like, no, you should have gone left. No. So
That's
yeah,
hilarious.
FYI, like, well, that was funny. Like I said, I got minimal skin in the game when it comes to sheep herding dogs.
Yeah. Yeah. Any other dope announcements that you want to talk about before we dive into some of the slop, if you will?
Just that Divinity is gonna be in for mature game based on that fucking death orgy we saw.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was a Diablo trailer. I was like, "What? Like this?"
Oh yeah.
Is fucking
Speaking
crazy.
of announcements, Diablo. No one gives a shit. Moving on.
Okay, Arthur, speak for yourself.
Drill. You're talking as if they did not have a Diablo announcement. They did. They announced the character. Remember?
Oh, yeah, they did have an announcement. You don't think anybody cares about that?
I don't think so. Like Path of Exile is killing it. Because again, I told you this. What people are getting right now, we asked for like day one, and I still call it to a point when these RPGs like Diablo, like Borderlands, looking at you, Borderlands is worse because Borderlands came out not too long ago and we're already getting a new class for money. What stopped you from putting that class day one launch? They want more money. So
I would say though, as a counterpoint, we just talked about gaming business stuff, right? And sadly, when it comes to gaming studios and things of that particular sort,
Jarrell,
like
this is from the company that said for Diablo Immortal, hey, we're gonna get Diablo 4, right? No, this is a phone game. You guys have phones, right? He has have phones, right? He has this. So coming, this is from Blizzard, and again, and here's the thing. And here's the thing too. If people ask for this day one, they don't get it day one. They don't get it year one. They don't get it year two. Guess what? By the time that shit drops, how many games have come out between now and Diablo 4 day one? You know what I mean? Hell, even like,
Yeah.
and especially, like I said, Path of Exile 2 has their Path of Exile 2 drill just had their druid come out, so they're killing it right now. So
Yeah.
and
That's a
because
fair. That's a fair point.
and,
That's a fair
and
point.
here's the thing too, Drill. Also, if you remember the story for Diablo 4, we went into hell, and what happened in hell, Drill? There was like a holy war fight. Huh, Drill? I wonder what character day one would have been the cool to play in a holy war in hell. The paladin, maybe? No, we can't do that years later. So that's another thing too. Lore wise, they fucked up because can you imagine how cool it would have been to play that game day one, week one, and for the first time in the Diablo series in a large scale to that degree? Because you went into hell for
Yeah.
a bit in Diablo 3, but it's different. But in Diablo 4,
Yeah.
have like an actual like quote unquote like holy war in hell while playing the paladin. You would have felt locked in. You would have felt more immersed. You're like, as Agent says, get some. But now they're doing it years later, and how many
Yeah.
players have fell off? How many players have fell off by then? So again,
Yeah.
1-to-1
True.
becomes when it comes to the gory, demonic announcements. Who do you think? What game do you think people would give more shit and more about? Divinity by Larian Studios, who set the norm for the industry, or Diablo 4 character that should have been there long ago. So
Yeah. Yeah, I'll definitely say that the how they do those business practices are very like I disagree with how they do it. Having a character a little later is one thing, but having it like years later or just like a ridiculous amount later is kind of I wouldn't say predatory, but nearing that. And then obviously like they have a history of bullshit, like you said. The guys have phones, right? It's like
you
that's
guys
no
have
way to
phones,
speak to
right?
people. That's no way to speak to people that are buying your game. It's like what the fuck, or even playing it. Even if it's free, it's like even spending time on anything that you fucking do. So I agree with that. Some of the announcements that I'm kind of like meh, meh. Like I kind of need people to kind of prove me wrong, if you will. I still think Divinity Versus is not going to be nearly as good as any other fighting game that we've been seeing for the past few years. Like I
Which one?
don't I
Wait,
don't
what in
know.
versus?
Invincible,
Oh,
Invincible
Invincible.
Versus.
Okay, Oh, yeah, Invincible versus. Yeah, the game doesn't
Yeah,
look bad. It just I talked about this when it comes to
yeah,
IP limited games. Case in point to another IP limited game that came out, Solo Leveling.
hmm
You and I, or a lot of people give shit for Call of Duty for coming out every year, but these weeaboo anime games that come out every year because a half season dropped and two new characters got announced. That's in the same bucket to me, man. Like,
yeah,
like we
yeah,
have like how many in total? Like what feels like 14 fucking Naruto fighting games because how long
yeah,
that show went on. Um, and then same thing to Dragon Ball Z, but the slash asterisk Dragon Ball Z, at least those were like different styles in terms of 2D versus 3D versus story versus single player versus Marvel's Capcom style. But still,
right.
but like Naruto, I think was kind of the worst film, and One Piece is ticking up there. And so like we've seen how many soul leveling games the show has. Feels like not that like 1 to 2 seasons most. Like you would
hmm
think soul leveling's been going on for years. Like no,
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
it's just all the fucking games for it. So I agree
hmm
with you that Invincible 3v3. It's not that the game's looking bad. Just like for me, it's another IP, the fighting game. Like same thing to the horror.
yeah,
Same thing to the horror games. It's like there's Dead by Daylight, which is killing it, but now I don't need every other fucking horror game to have its own game, like Killer Clowns in it, like Killer Clowns, Freddy, no Killer Clowns, Jason, Texas Chainsaw Massacre, Ash. You know what I mean? Like it's just like it's for us outside looking in. It feels like another flash in the pan IP the game.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Definitely, I agree with that. For Loop, that was another one that I was like,
The J.J.
I could.
Abrams left for a dead guy.
Yeah, it's kind of weird that I'm seeing like certain directors like, hey, we think games are pretty cool. Here's this live service game. You know what I mean? I'm just like, it's kind of get. Like, I feel like we're gonna get a lot more of that next year,
Yeah,
where more and more like directors that are gonna just invest in shitty live service bullshit. Um, so yeah, that one I was like, I can easily skip this. I think I did say during the stream, I said, maybe I'll try it once, but definitely I didn't have the most
Mm,
positive feeling
I bet.
watching
Also,
the
for a
announcement.
name, has a weird name.
Yeah, for loop, like
For loop, like, you know what I
very
mean?
strange. Yeah. No, yeah,
Because
definitely not the because it's like Fortnite has like a even though like like obviously like how you feel about Fortnite. It's a good name of a game, it's a catchy name of a game, Valorant, like yeah, it's a good name of a game, but for loop doesn't necessarily roll off the tongue, so um yeah, we'll see what happens on that. Do we want to dive into the kind of one of the main announcements that obviously we talked about at the beginning here of the show, High Guard, which,
I, I,
from
I,
a
I think we talked enough about it. It's just that
okay,
it's just it's a hero shooter. It's
yeah,
Concord, it's Overwatch 2, it's Lawbreakers, it's Paladins, it's
yeah,
here. It's just what I mean.
yeah,
It's Battleborn. We see enough.
yeah.
I really don't care.
It's just funny to think about as far as like where Jeff Keighley was mentioning like they've kept this so quiet where no one has seen this announcement. And imagine if it wasn't kept quiet, right? If this was leaked, the studio would close. You know what I mean? Like that's how much people would be like, I don't fuck with this game. You know what I mean? And they would have that because I will say it does have a lot of it has a lot of Concord 2 vibes, or Concord vibes. It does have a lot of that. And I feel like Wildlight Entertainment would need to close their doors on this Hide Guard game if it did get leaked. And so yeah, it's another hero shooter. But yeah, I don't think there's going to be much to it, beyond that. Obviously they're going to have a beta testing, which I think is positive and it makes sense from a strategic perspective. But yeah, I don't think anyone's going to be playing this.
And I still say it too. The characters look too clean. Like I said, it reminds me of Veilguard to a point where I remember you and I were watching the Veilguard announcement trailer. And we're like, what was one thing you said? Why does everyone look like they're in a Maybelline commercial? Like everyone's too clean. Like what happened to the
Yeah,
grit?
yeah,
And even though this is a new IP, therefore we don't have the established grit versus grim versus hopeful versus
mm,
shining aesthetic. Let's say Overwatch, because Overwatch everyone's clean because that's like in that world and that lore.
yeah,
It's like not a utopia, but it's like post war times, peace times, everyone's happy, everything's clean, everyone's kumbaya, everyone's
mm,
a little more clean, whereas the villains, they're the ones that are a little more dirty, grittier. So it's, say what you want about Overwatch, but clearly its art style was great. That's one of the many things that got people hooked on the first one. But even
right,
for me, I'm just like, okay, we're at war fighting for our lives, but everyone's super clean and smiling. Like, and now look at this mage. And she's like, her face assets like a smile, like like so. Are we just high fiving each other like old friends? Or are we trying to murder each other? Like, at least have some grit to it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
have your art directors get their shit in line to
mm,
have it match. Like I said, like Veilguard. Yeah, the RPG hero shooter is not one for one, but again, assets and tone matters. Where it's like, okay, we're fighting a
yeah,
dragon, we're fighting for our lives. Everyone's like, oh my god, my conditioner. Everyone's all pretty. And same thing for this game. It's like, and look at this purple haired raven chick. She can murder you with blood. And she's just like, hi guys, hi guys. I'm here for hot cocoa and talk about our truce and just like this weird clean shit. So
yeah,
that's just me. Like, and again, one for one to talk about eventually the behemoth in the room. Expedition 33, not clean people. Like again, again the art direction matched the tone, where it's like we're fighting for our lives. They look fucked up and dirty the shit as if they're fighting for their lives. So these clean aesthetic tone thing, again, for more reasons I want to give off Concord vibes.
most definitely. And yeah, let's talk about the elephant in the room. So, Clear Obscure Expedition 33, it just fucking steamrolled over everyone and their mother for the Game Awards for this year. Um, yeah, and there's a little bit of controversy on it. Of course, it wouldn't be a great Game Awards if there wasn't controversy. But I think the controversy isn't that it won Game of the Year, because I feel like that wasn't a controversy. Most people knew that. Um, but I think some of the controversy was
The sheer amount of nominations.
right. Do you want
And
to go ahead
and
and kind of lead that, and I'll
and
follow you?
and winning. So it's a sheer amount of nominations, it's a sheer things it won. Here's the thing. This is an industry where people, lose their jobs, get industries closed down, and we celebrate it. So it doesn't make sense to me on one hand to be like, oh, this industry, this game sucked, it got shut down. Yeah, no shit. Whoa, this really great game got nominated for a million things. I don't agree to that. Like, no, this isn't participation trophy land. Um, because here's what it is, Joe. There's a lot of aspects to this way people are talking about. One aspect I want to shut down right now was people are saying, well, this is why gamers should vote on it. No, no. Because Drill, you remember the category that the fans did vote on? You remember who won that? Remember who won the player's voice award?
I'm trying to remember.
It was that anime gotcha game Wuthering Waves. A fucking,
Mm,
the fucking fan service gotcha game loot box the world. So, you know what I mean?
yeah.
So it's like, cool, the showerless got a victory. Good job.
I mean,
Um
to be fair, it was nominated for best mobile game. It didn't win, but yeah, that's your point.
but but again, so again, like, to understandably people talking about Kingdom Come Deliverance or Silk Song. Again, Silk Song was like Claire Expedition 33 was nominated for Player's Voice, and a fucking gotcha game won. So the whole let the players vote for everything, I'm against. I'm already against that
I'm
day
against
one.
that. Yeah, I'm against that too. I don't think that's going to solve the quote unquote issue that we have. I don't think that makes a lot of sense to me.
Nominee for Game of the
Um,
Year: Madden 27, FIFA 28.
yeah. I think to me it was some of the. I feel like there needs to be a little more context, or more details within the criteria of certain awards, right? So for one example is best debut indie game, right? We have Blueprints, Despelote, Dispatch, and then you have Clair Obscur in there, right? And Clair Obscur won, right? To no surprise. But we have to think, this is best debut indie game created by a new independent studio. Clair Obscur had a budget, from what I've been seeing online, and it could not be accurate, of a little under $10 million. Do we think that these other debut indie studios have the same budget to create the art that to create the game? So I'm like, what do we give me more criteria on making this the best debut indie game? Because when it comes to the budget that they have, yes, it may be a better quality game, but the quality of the game will be way more advanced than a debut indie team, and I feel like it's just a fact. You know what I mean? So those things I have slight annoyances about, where I'm like, clear obscure. I understand. Like, yes, technically it is a debut and it is an indie game, so yeah, I guess technically it falls in that category. Should it necessarily be should it win within that? I don't know. I don't necessarily think that it should. I feel like, and then another controversy amongst this was best independent game, right? So this is outstanding creative technical achievement in a game made outside the traditional publisher system. So once again, we have Clair Obscur, huge budget, right? And we have Absalom, Bollocks Pit, Blueprints, Hades 2, Hollow Knight Silk Song, which broke Steam when it came out. Um, within that rank, within that realm, 100%. I can guarantee that it's not going to have the same nearly a financial budget of Clair Obscur. And I'm not necessarily mad for Clair Obscur winning this, but I feel like it wouldn't be a complete blasphemy if it didn't win, and say Silk Song won, or fucking Hades 2 won that in particular. So So those are, to me, those are the ones where I'm like, it could go either way. I think the one
And
that I really, really disagree with, and once again, I'm not against Clair Obscur. I think Clair Obscur is a fantastic game. I do think it absolutely deserves Game of the Year. I have played it. I haven't beaten it. But when it comes to like best like music, like absolutely, I think out of everything, the score is incredible. There's a lot of intense stuff as far as for the narrative and stuff as well. But best game direction, to me, that was one where like I feel like that could go to somebody else. Because even though while I do like Clair Obscur, the game direction kind of slow a little bit. It's kind of like begrudgingly, like not really the smoothest experience. It's not Last of Us Part Two slow, or where that game direction is like, this is a fucking mess. How is this winning best game direction, right? Because you're going back and forth throughout the fucking game, so it's not that bad. But I would argue if you once you start playing the game, Arthur, you could probably be like, I don't know. You know, I feel like it probably could have went to somewhere else. Like even Split Fiction. Like I love the game direction for that. I think it's very fluid. You know, but
yeah.
all right. What are your thoughts on some of this?
Overall, my thing is like, do I disagree with the larger notion that should have been nominated for less? Not really. Um, if any, and here's there's a lot to this, and one of the aspects I feel like Drill. One of the main reasons we're even having this conversation is because something really happened this year we haven't seen in a while, where so many great indie games came out, like Peak, Are We There Yet? Um, Lethal Company's been having updates. Phasmophobia keeps having updates. Like Phasmophobia is now coming out for the Switch too, so that possibly could have been nominated for best ongoing game. Um, Arc Raiders, I think, could have been nominated for like the community, because like I said, just that game is like PVE, PvP. But at least at launch, I'm sure things have changed. But at least at the time of the Game Awards airing, a lot of people trying Arc Raiders for the first time were like, "You're not shooting me. No, no, here's a good gun, man. Be safe, have fun, enjoy the game." I was like, "Oh shit!"
I think we're
So
definitely gonna see it next year for community support for Arc Raiders if it
yeah,
keeps.
if they keep it
Yeah,
up,
yeah,
so my thing is, I was wondering if maybe they should do what the Oscars did and just increase the nominees, because this year was a great year for games. Like, fans ate, and we ate fucking good. Like, whether you're indie fans, Warhammer 40K fans, Friend Slop fans, solo action RPGs, Where Winds Meet. I forget if Where Winds Meet was nominated for anything or what, but again, just something's been in the air this
yeah.
year where so many good games came out. And so I
Yeah.
think, rather than taking away nominations from a game that I think earned it, maybe again pull an Oscars and just add to the nominees, because we wouldn't have had this argument a few years ago when it was like just shit the game, when it was like, like for was it when Veilguard came out, when Assassin's Creed Shadows was doing its thing. It's like, oh yeah, make room for more good games, guys. No. So it's tough. It just sucks because this isn't once again the category if I don't have the answer, but I have
Yeah.
thoughts on what I think won't work.
Sure. Sure.
What won't work is fan initiatives. No,
Yeah.
because no
Yeah.
fucking way, in the same category where Claire Obscura and Silksong, a game
Yeah.
that literally broke Steam, it crashed Steam,
Yeah.
was nominated for Player's Voice, and the gotcha game fucking fan service anime waifu titties the game won.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's why I'm like, already player voting, don't open the floodgates.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Very true.
the but and then here's the thing, it comes down to too, it's like best RPG, like Kingdom Come Deliverance. That that's one where I think Kingdom Come Deliverance could have won, because Kingdom Come Deliverance in terms of RPG, I think Kingdom Come Deliverance is a smidge more. Mind you, I haven't played either game. I haven't played Kingdom Come or Expedition. But from the outside looking in, it looks like Kingdom Come does have a little bit more towards like, what did you decide as a player? How did you play your game? You know what I mean?
It's more
So
traditional RPG moving versus Clear Obscure, because Clear Obscure has like a it's like a faster version of turn base.
mhm.
But yeah, aside from that, I would definitely say Kingdom Come
and
Deliverance was more of
and
a
and
traditional
see
RPG.
And see, because also this is like the world of semantics too, because with RPG, I was defining it by the role playing. That's what I meant by role playing. You can have more freedom, again, outside looking in, Kingdom Come Deliverance, than you can in Clair Obscura. But you're talking about mechanics. And if Final Fantasy VII came out today, it would still be nominated. It'll probably win too, even though some would say, like me, at the time it came out, it was a slow ass turn based game. Turn based is dumb. Blah, 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 blah. So it's tough. Like, am I happy it won everything it won? Absolutely. Off the bat, big one. Should have won Game of the Year. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Another thing was
1000%.
another thing with Game of the Year. Why the fuck was Donkey Kong nominated? And Monkey Smash Rock, a gem come out? Get the fuck out of here, dude.
Yeah, I mean, and I played I played that game, and I was like, this is fine. Like, but I don't think it deserved any awards, to be completely honest. Yeah, because it won Best Family Game, right?
Yeah.
Um, it was the first Switch 2 game this year, or the first Switch 2 game, aside from Mario Kart, I guess, but where you're like, this is good. You know what I
Well,
mean?
I'm glad
But
I spent nearly $600.
but I don't recall of anyone really talking about it throughout the year. I feel like they just kind of pulled it
No.
out of the hat and said, "Yeah, let's go with that." All right, next category. So I'm just like, yeah,
So, like I said, so if I had to pick, if I had to pick a handful of categories, I think maybe it shouldn't have won. You just talked about publisher. Kepler published Kepler published Sifu. So I think, and they even thanked their publisher in their like in one of their many speeches. So like whatever category you just mentioned, where it was like publishers were involved, again, that's one where maybe they shouldn't have won because they had a valid publisher. Kepler's really known for Sifu, Pacific Drive, and the Cat Quest games. And Scorn, you remember Scorn, that gory puzzle
oh
game?
yeah, mm,
Kepler published that. So if I had to pick things that maybe categories maybe shouldn't have won,
yeah,
maybe barely like single digit grading scale. Kingdom
yeah,
Come Deliverance maybe could have got it over Expedition,
mm,
and then the publishing one, because they had a valid
yeah,
publisher.
right,
Um, so, and
yeah,
like I said, one thing to possibly resolve this from happening again, possibly add more nominees. Because here's the
yeah,
thing too, flip the script, go back in time a couple years ago when Last of Us won, swept. No one really complained. We saw that shit coming.
true, yeah,
So I don't know what's in the air that just made this game. I think my theory is what I can't speak for other people, but reading the comments and seeing other videos, I think what made this game a little more quote unquote controversial in its sweep versus Last of Us, the first game. Again, it's competition. Again, the multiplayer community ate really good this year with Battlefield 6, with Arc Raiders. Like Arc, like let them not only like I said, Gerald, we talked about this. Not only did Battlefield 6 beat Black Ops, Arc Raiders did. Arc Raiders has had a more successful year than Call of Duty. That's crazy. And so it's just a
yeah,
unique year where we've had so many wins this industry and this event award shows not really used to.
mm,
So compiling it all the best they could to the number of categories and or number of nominees, you can't make everyone happy. You know what I mean?
yeah,
And if you aim to, you piss off everyone. So
yeah,
so again, starting large, working small, off the bat, yes, I think it should have won Game of the Year. Um,
mm,
real quick, I'm gonna go back to it. Was Kingdom Come Deliverance even nominated for Game of the Year?
I
I,
believe so.
okay,
Yeah, I believe so.
I just want to make sure. Yes, it was. Okay. Because I was
Yeah,
going to say real quick, if I were to open this page up and Kingdom Come Deliverance was not nominated for Game of the Year and Donkey Kong won, and Donkey Kong was, I'm like, that should be a bigger conversation.
yeah, yeah. I agree. Donkey Kong shouldn't even have been in that conversation. Shouldn't have been in the nominees at all. Yeah, I kind of feel like, and again, I do have to, I still have to play Death Stranding too because it's not on PC yet. But it would have been nice if Death Stranding won at least one award. But yeah, I think overall, when it comes to just the weight of how they did everything for Clair Obscur, right? When it comes to the music, the narrative, the action is fun. It is turn based, but it's very fast action turn based. So it's not like you're gonna be like, Terrell, what the fuck? Like this is some turn based bullshit. What the fuck? No, but no, it's actually it's really interactive and fun. And like you have to like make quick decisions and stuff like that. Not QCE, but you got to make some decisions on your battles. But it's very it's there it I one of the things that I really like about Clair Obscur is that there's so much on the line from a story perspective, and it's very like dismal at the same time. Like the story of it, it's like, oh, you have this monster that's killing everyone depending on their age. You know what I mean? They're trying to like preserve humanity in a way, and you have this guy that doesn't really have his shit together. He's kind of fucked up. Like it's just, and then you have like these other women characters that are like fucking. Pull your fucking pants up and let's fucking do this. Like, stop. You know what I mean? Like it's really good. It's really good. The music is fucking incredible. I like these stories where there's so much on the line and it just keeps me on the edge of my seat. Like I feel that with Clair Obscur when I'm playing it, and I just really appreciate it because I miss games like that. I used to make games like that.
Stakes
So
go up,
yeah,
and stakes go up. Stakes go up. Immersion and engagement goes up.
yeah, 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 1,000%, 1,000%. So yeah, man. I mean, like I said, after the Game Awards, I was like, I'm buying this Friday. I need to stop pussyfooting, and I need to
Dude,
just
like
fucking
our
do it.
entire group chat did.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
our entire group chat, pretty much. Ricky, let's see, Ricky already owned the game. Asian bought it. You
mm,
bought it. I bought it.
mm,
4 or 5 of our close knit gamer group chat bought the game after the Game of Year awards.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
And I have this sweet 8-bit do controller
yeah,
and
and,
plugged it in, and it works great with the game. I'm having a ball. It's fun. It's fun. I have to like pace myself because it's like I can see myself playing tens of hours, and I'm like, wait, I have other things to
and also
do.
Drill
but
too.
but it's really good.
Shout out to Eating Good. They Declare Obscura dropped a thank you update.
That's right.
They dropped a new map, new bosses, new
Yeah,
fights, new skins, new
yeah.
weapons.
Yeah, and
That's
and I bought
awesome,
the
man.
thank you edition. Like I like so not only people that owned it they get that update for free. Anyone who buys it new, it's the thank you edition. Unless they change their mind. But yeah, very exciting, man. I couldn't be happier for the French. you know, I couldn't be happier. Very excited. Very 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 happy for them. I do feel like though, and this might be a slightly controversial thing, but for best performance, man, I I think it was great that homegirl won, but I would argue that maybe some of the other characters could have won that instead. Um I'm not seeing anything that's making me say yes, that needs to be the person. To be completely honest with you, but other than that, other than that, I think Claire Obscure deserves pretty much just about everything else.
I
Um,
On best performance, I know she wasn't even a nominee, and it
mm,
wasn't like a stop everything you're doing, play the game.
yeah,
But the what to me what really makes South of the Midnight great, other than the
thank you for
music,
reminding me about that too.
is the main actress.
Mm,
Like South of Midnight, when that game came out, we're in a pit before. Okay, we got some things on South of Midnight, so I'll keep a ton of vision of this real quick. So best performance. I still think the girl from South of Midnight should have won because her performance was very good. And for context, South of Midnight
yeah,
came out at a time where gaming controversy was a thing when it's not, but it really was. Like, I forget, Jarrell, if there was like a bunch of shows or a bunch of movies that were in the middle of like race swap crap. Netflix was doing their thing. Netflix was like,
mm,
hey guys, we're going to have a biopic on this thing. And it's like, a made up character that didn't exist, but something, something, something. So it's just the timing of South of Midnight's launch marred it in controversy because it just the way the Western media does with all forms of shows, music, movies, and games is like, oh well, that's just crap, and I don't want to play it because
Yeah.
of the color of the skin and the gender of the character. Just because at the timing of it, like I said, Netflix was doing Netflix bullshit of what they do,
Hmm.
and but the
What's the
performance
what's the word we like to say? I forget. It's with a P.
pandering.
Pandering. Yeah,
So
it was definitely a
because
pandering era. Yeah.
because there was a lot of pandering going on where it was like based on a true story that some guy once said somewhere, even though it's not documented, Netflix show. And I was like, I don't know about that one. Um, but best performance. I played South of Night. I beat the whole thing start to finish. That main character, again in the middle of that pandering week or month that was going on, I told you, Joel, it was refreshing. It was refreshing to hear a character written and speaking organically. Like we talk about the lizard people speak in award shows. That's where it's like, hey guys, let's go to a live demonstration of the game being played. Oh wow, John, this game is really fun. This game is really fun. Yes, it's high fidelity and key mechanic known for this makes it run very smooth. Jessica, what do you think? Wow, the rendering on this game is really nice. I can't wait to play more. Oh my god, guys, he is down. Let's pick him up. Pick him up. It's okay. I am the medic. I have a res ability. Watch me cast my res ability. AKA they talk how no human fucking speaks. Lizard speak. And that's in gaming
Right.
too. Like where is it in gaming? Especially Ghost of Yote. Not Ghost of Yote. Sorry.
Assassin's Creed
Thank
Shadows.
you. Wrong samurai game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Shadows had
Yeah.
horrible performances, and then looking back on Forspoken, had an egregious, cringe script that made you hate the main character. People hated playing Forspoken because you wanted the main character to die because she was so insufferable. So, going from all that to South of Midnight, it was refreshing to hear just like dialogue and script and a performance. I was like, oh my god, it's by a human. A human's talking. I'm immersed. Let's go. I feel like I just witnessed my mom get swept down the flood. I witnessed a human being seeing supernatural shit for the first time. I feel this is realistic. I feel this is they encapsulated the world of the paranormal into the real modern era very effectively, and the main character, the main actress, did that. So even though it wasn't top of the charts in terms of player count and sales, because it just came out amidst pandering, controversy. None of it's by its own making. So I was disappointed that she was not even nominated for best performance. Again, going back to the whole, this was such a good year, so many good performances, that this was a year they could have benefited from more nominees, because I'm sure there are other people that had a crazy good voice acting that saved the game or made the game that we didn't see just because of just how much Claire Obscura talent happened to have. But
Yeah.
before we transition to a coming topic around South of Midnight, anything else? Game Awards, Claire Obscura,
No,
or anything? All the above.
no, I think you hit the nail on the head. I do think that that actress should have got nominated. I need to play Death Stranding too because I feel like they missed some of those folks from that game when it comes to performance as well. I put an asterisk next to that critique because I haven't played the game, but it's a Hideo Kojima fucking game, so I'm sure somebody kicked ass. But yeah, other than that, no, nothing else. I think everything else was I thought it was a solid show once again. Um, I feel like there's something wrong with the Game Awards if no one's bitching about it.
Yeah.
So maybe if
Uh,
anything, it's just more publicity.
it's
But I thought it was a solid show overall.
two more quick points on it. I think it's weird that the cast of Street Fighter did not announce Best Fighting Game. That was weird.
Yeah, that was strange. That was very
Also,
strange.
I know people are talking about like focusing on other controversies or thoughts. Best adaptation, Jarrell. We both agreed the one winner that should not have won best adaptation was HBO Last of Us season 2, and it won it. That was like the one thing that should not have won.
Very disappointing. Very, very disappointing. Yeah, and it still baffles me how many people either one enjoyed the show or two are too much of a pussy to talk about why it completely tanked and how they made Ellie a fucking idiot. And from a continuity perspective, was not even the same person from the first game. You know, they took all the training that she got, and even they almost alluded to her being a more seasoned fighter and strategist and soldier, if you will, like she was in the game. They completely eradicated that notion from the sequel, and it's just, yeah, I just, to me, that was the biggest disappointment. And it seems like they're pretty much killing off her character because Abby's gonna be really the front line person, and the actress who played Abby fucking killed it. You know, fucking outstanding. Uh, yeah, it definitely outstanding performance, for that. So yeah, that was incredibly disappointing. I feel like everyone knew that the Minecraft movie should have won for best adaptation. I feel like that was really in the air. So yeah, that was incredibly disappointing.
Man, fucking everyone's popular guy right now, Pedro, what's his face? It's in everything for some fucking reason. It's like, man, really? He took it over my boy, fucking Nacho Libre, Jack Black. I forget, have you seen the Minecraft movie yet?
I haven't seen it yet.
Watch it. It's pretty good.
Okay.
It's kind of like Sonic. You go into it
Is it
thinking,
still in theaters or is it
no,
on
no,
like
no.
on
No,
DSPs and shit?
oh yeah,
Or
yeah.
digital?
Like I said,
Okay,
check
cool.
check HBO or check Paramount, one of the streaming services I have for you.
All right. I'll watch it
I
tonight.
saw it one of there, and it's kind of like Sonic One. You go into it thinking like this would be like a movie for babies, and you're like, I kind of like this. And
Yeah.
plus, if you're a diehard like old school Jack Black fan like I am, like I've rewatched Nacho Libre and Old School, no School of Rock, like in the past month.
Oh yeah.
So
School of
that,
Rock.
from
My
that to
faves.
Flippin' Steel, it's like we're back, man.
Yeah.
It's
I,
we're good.
I feel like I feel like it's a risky film to make too, right? I feel like you could easily fuck up Minecraft movie because it's like, how do you fucking make this game?
Because Minecraft is a
It's a
game
movie.
about doing whatever you want, but thankfully there is not a semi story, but like bosses, like I said, like the Nether, like the underworld, things like that. So they are able to tie that in to like a quote unquote cohesive story in the game.
Yeah.
It's not my favorite gaming movie of all time, but it impressed me more than I thought.
Sure.
Again, a little bit of bias there because Jack Black is as unapologetically Jack Black in that movie.
Yeah.
Just
I love Jack Black.
say what you want about the first trailer, but like for me, when I saw the movie and once I heard Flippin' Steel, I'm like, that's Nacho Libre Jack Black right there. Like, and it got the squeeze. You know what I mean? Like that's just straight up that's peak. That's peak Nacho Libre Jack Black coming out in a modern movie, and I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm here for it, Drill.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right on. Do we want to talk about this is a really good point to end the show. Do we want to talk about what nobody's talking about as
We
far
can
as
just end it on okay. Before we turn it into like not a segment or an argument, we can just put it as a question. And
Okay.
here's a question we asked ourselves. South of Midnight. Okay. Main character of the game, story of the game, or overarching tone of the game.
Yeah.
As Jamie Foxx would say, it was black, black, blackity, black. That's
Yeah.
a direct quote from one of his shows.
Yeah.
Was anyone else shocked at the people that accepted the award for South of Midnight?
Yeah.
We were.
Yeah, because
We
it
were
was
shocked.
almost like, because when like they say like, oh, so and so was sick, so she wasn't able to get the award, or so and so wasn't able to make it tonight, so we're gonna get this on behalf. It's like, no, thanks, I appreciate it. It's like, wait, this is like,
Yeah, we. So, okay, for those of you that played the game, play it. I recommend you play it. It's on Game Pass. It's not a full price game. It's not, again, a AAA going to win a million awards, but it's a fun experience. It's a fun story. And if you're someone like me, I spent a lot of my younger years with my father road tripping across the country. My dad was a trucker, so all my vacations as a kid was a road trip. So we've done the Americana, like old school Route 66. We've been to like those like what you would call nowadays a tourist trap, but like has some like old school Americana history. Them like the biggest thermometer in Bakersfield, um, the biggest like rubber band ball, Route 66 stops. And so American mythology is not lost on me. You see it in games now and again via like Skinwalkers, the Wendigo and Fallout 76. Um, you know, so to see I can't think of the word mythology, or I'll come the word of like voodoo, um, tales of the Bayou and the South. These are stories even I were a little bit familiar with, like the catfish, um, and the haint. These are words I was a little familiar with. These are words I was familiar with prior to coming to the game, and these are stories you don't really hear in movies, in television, in books, in comics, a lot nowadays. And so, biasly, to see these American tall tales, American mythology, American folklore, that's the word, American folklore, coming to the forefront of a game, I was excited to see. And the forefront of this Bayou um, voodoo folklore being the front of the game has a very understandable just black tone, black culture birth into it, and that I knew of prior to it. Drell, he's experienced a bit of it being in New Orleans, being in that area. One of our friends here and co-streamer of the channel, Asian, he went to New Orleans. He went there. He's seen the haunted house tours, the haunted house tours, and so knowing all that, the main character of the game, the main actress of the game, the cover art for the game, the marketing for the game, everything on this game, it just had a facade of just organically black. Not like, again, I know the game, like we just spoke on, the game came out and around this timing, separate from itself, of like a pandering controversy because of some other movie or Netflix thing that was going on. So we thought, so understandably, people that are upset were like, oh crap, here comes another pandering game. That's not the case. Again, this is, post Katrina era New Orleans, that long reached history of, the slave trade there, the bayou, everything around it. So where I'm going with this is from every aspect of this game, maybe not to this scale in terms of budget or scale Black Panther the movie, but it had, like I said, it had a facade of organic blackness to it. And this is coming from a white guy, just call it what it is. It just had this grassroots aura from how it was advertised, how it was talked about, how it was shown, of like those making the creative decisions, possible executives, cast, crew, hands on it, was again organically black. So it's weird that that organic grassroots blackness to it that led it to being linked to this pandering campaign, this pandering controversy. Fast forward, it winning award the Game of the Year, we see faces and possible tales that didn't represent that at all, and it was confusing as shit to us, especially for me. I played the game, and it was just like almost like took us out a bit of like, wait, hold up, it's like Black Panther being nominated for an award, and then Bill Murray accepts it. You're like, okay, Bill Murray's talented, but
Yeah.
this doesn't feel right. And so I just wanted to lead up to that. I just wanted to provide that lead up context to it, how it felt coming up to the game, the release of the game, playing the game, the tone of the game, and then what we saw at the Game Awards. Go ahead, Joel.
Yeah, no, I think you did that very well. I think you explained that very well. Yeah, I was gonna say too. It's like imagine if for the clear obscure stuff, right? For Game of the Year, you have a bunch of Americans that walk up to get the award. Hey, thanks, appreciate. Yeah, we wanted to capture the stories of this. Thanks a lot.
Viva
But
la
there's no
France.
friend. But
I like baguettes. Oui, oui, ha ha, snail. You know what I mean? just like
Yeah, it's
just
just like
some
it's like
yeah.
where's the representation of the characters that you put into your story? You know what I mean? So it's kind of like imagine that, where instead of you have people that are French that are getting the award, Michigan, you just have a bunch of Americans, fucking Johnny, Johnny director comes up and fucking takes the goddamn
Dude,
award.
it'd been
Hey,
great.
thanks, Claims Care. We're like, yeah, it's talking about French people. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like that type of notion
I
where
would
it's
have
like,
loved Jarrell if the acceptance speech for Claire Obscura with French characters, French tone, French skins, French costume, French music, the fucking game of the fucking award speech starts with, "What's up, everybody? Roll Tide."
like, yeah, I'm just like, yeah, like that
It
basically
felt like a
sums
bait.
up.
It felt like a bait and switch watching it live.
Yeah, yeah, I think that sums it up well. Without it making it seem like something disparaging. Yeah,
It
and
was
yeah,
like,
so that's how I
these
felt.
two did these two possible Karens just read a book for free at Starbucks and was like, we know how to represent this. Like, again, it just the
Yeah,
marketing around it had a tone.
yeah,
They created it, and
yeah,
when we see not that, we were both like, what? Hold up, something ain't
yeah.
right here.
Something ain't right. Well, I think that is a good way to end the show here. Again, I'm glad we were able to do this. Thank you for being available to do this too. By the way, I didn't know we're gonna do another episode, but I think this is a dope one to do. Any lasting things before we close
Yes,
out?
Jeff. We will see Jeff Keighley again in June for Summer Game Fest, and we will see Jeff again in Cologne, Germany, for Gamescom, where yours truly will be attending. I
Yeah,
I Drell will do my best to try to get a picture with Jeff. I doubt that's going to happen. It's a week long event. I will try. As we said before, Phil Spencer is the man that saved Xbox. What your current thoughts of him are, that is a fact that will stay true. Jeff Keighley, and for us and a lot of people, Jeff Keighley saved the fanfare and the award show. That is gaming. E3 went under. Jeff Keighley picked up the baton and ran with it and led it, I think, farther than E3 ever could. So, again, next big Jeff event will be Summer Game Fest in June. I forget where that's going to be. That might be in. I forget where it's going to be. It's in the States somewhere. But Gamescom will be in August in Germany. I will be there. I can't wait, Jarrell. I will let you know once I buy the tickets. I will keep you posted.
yeah.
Jarrell, we'll see. We'll try to time it out, Jarrell. I do want to try our best to try via time change. See if we can get a pot in while yours truly is in Germany. We'll have to
Ooh, that would be cool.
think
I would be excited to do that
think
if we were able to do that as well.
thinking
Most
out loud
definitely.
thinking out loud, Jarrell. Thinking out loud, Jarrell. Just plant the seeds, and maybe like a Saturday, like one of us will be early, late, and we'll flip the coin
Yeah.
who takes the early card, who takes the late card. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, because
um,
I think 7 a.m. here is 4 p.m. there, if I'm not
mm,
mistaken. So, yeah, because I remember talking to my prior job at Time Change, and the customer I was speaking to it was in
Deutschland,
Germany.
yeah.
So,
So,
yeah.
um, but yeah, another Game Awards in the books. Like Drell said, if we weren't talking about it, something's wrong. Um,
Oh, and obviously, I'll give you your flowers. You fucking destroyed me in the goddamn competition for Game Awards for this year,
Predictions.
15-7. God damn it! Congratulations, Arthur, on that. Yeah, it's funny. I feel like it's one of those things where it's like sometimes you choose who you want to win based on who you feel versus who's actually going to win. And I think that was my doubt, or that was my problem this year, where I chose things that I wanted versus who are they going to give it to. So
The
congrats
year
on
I
that.
lost Jarrell, which was 3 years ago now, because your boy's back to back champ. Uh, 3 years ago, that's what I did. I went with my gut, I went with my feels, and I lost by like 2 points. But no, for every year, for as you saw last episode, we do predictions. This is the biggest sweep in the history of us doing these sweeps. Even before we started potting, we've always treated the
Neck
game.
and neck.
We've always treated
Yeah.
awards like the game. We've always treated the game of the year awards like the Oscars. We do our picks, and they've always been
Mm.
relatively close. Like 3 years ago, you won by like three. Last year, I won by one. And what
Yep.
put me over the edge was not no sorry 2 years ago. Oh shit! I actually draw. It might be 3 years back to back because I won last year. Last year was Astrobot.
No, one of them. I think you're two. I think you're two.
Because I know I
'Cause
won.
I won one. I won one, but we didn't talk about it on the show.
Okay. Because I know. Okay, the one I know confidently. The year I won by one was Baldur's Gate, because it came down to the wire where you picked something else and I picked Baldur's Gate, and Baldur's Gate was what put me over the edge to win Game of the Year that year. So
Did I win the Astrobot one?
I don't want to say I did because I know I've been saying back to back for a bit now, even before.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're
Yeah.
right. Maybe you're right.
But this year 17-5, biggest sweep yet.
Will never happen again.
Um,
Ever.
I don't know, man. I don't know, man. But a couple things to end on. Like I said, biasly, I see Jeff Keighley. I'm like, I will say this, Joel. Speaking of the Game Awards, speaking of the Gamescom, I can't wait to see this in person. I can't wait to be in that crowd when they show like Bandai Namco, Project Aces. If you hear one fucking person, if they show, I'm calling it now, Joel. If they show gameplay to Ace Combat 8 at Gamescom and you hear one motherfucker yelling, that'll be me. That'll be me. But next year, Joel, I think we're in. I think we'll end on a positive note for next year. I think we're in for another year. This being truly our last episode because I got family stuff the next few weeks. I think I told you about. So yeah, year in review, man. Gamers
Yeah.
ate good. Biasly, I'm happy and thankful for that I'm getting Jarrell a little bit more into Warhammer 40k lore and Warhammer 40k games via Space Marine
Yeah.
2 was a big introduction. Now that Darktide at the sale, Jarrell's experiencing more and more of the hype around the grim dark future, so he shared
Yeah.
a bit with me in the announcement that was, Total War, Warhammer 40k with Dawn.
Yeah.
Also, real quick, Drill, to that announcement, we were so on edge of what he was talking about. Watch that clip back, Jarrell. Clear as day, he's wearing a Warhammer 40k shirt. I didn't even fucking notice that. When people are like,
Oh, really?
People are like, what's he going to announce? What's he going to announce? He's wearing a Warhammer 40k.
Everyone's hanging on it on
Yeah.
every word, and it's like, bro, he's wearing a Warhammer shirt.
Yeah, I didn't even notice it. So like I said, a year and wrap up. It's been a great year for gaming, a wonderful
Yes.
year for indie. And then again, biasly amongst our own friend group, we have a lot more friends getting into the Warhammer 40k world. Warhammer fans, we've been eating good, man. Fucking
Yeah.
Darktide had their sale. Darktide has a new class, Hive Scum. Drell and I were now trying and streaming. We'll be streaming the new missions we tried that train stuff hard as shit. We got Space Marine. Remember, it's already been announced. Space Marine 3 is on the horizon. Dark Heresy's coming. Dark Heresy has an alpha coming out. Yeah, man, great year in gaming.
Excited.
And biasly great year for Warhammer fans.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, indeed. All right, folks, so that's going to wrap it up here for the Games for Life podcast. Again, every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, discussing all things games. Happy New Year. I'm your host, Jarrell. With me is Arthur Thomas.
Truly, see you next year.
All right. Yeah, Happy New Year. We'll see you guys next year.